Good to go.
Nice.
Send it.
What's good, Denver? How are you? This is a weekly celebration of culture and discovery and fun stuff to do in Denver for kids, couples, singles, and old timers. I'm Ryan Estes, and joining us today is special guest Savannah Poyer. How are you, Savannah?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here, Ryan. I'm kind of nervous, but excited to hang out with you guys this morning.
We're so happy to have you. And today's feature, it features both of Denver's cultures. We're really famous for two, and that's country and Western. So Savannah is representing the country Western portion of Denver culture, which I believe she weaves together so seamlessly into like a very sophisticated both look and feel and texture. I mean, Savannah's amazing. Thanks for joining us.
Wow. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Excited to be here.
We're here with Tom Flo Rida Donahue and the Minnesota Timberwolves of podcasting, Troy Higgins. What's up, guys?
And
What's up?
yeah, when I asked you how you're doing this morning and you said you'd had better days, I was like, what's wrong? And then you reminded me of the Nuggets score last night, and I was like, oh, that is way far worse than anything you could have said. I totally forgot about that. That was a proper ass kicking last night. Unfortunately,
It was a shellacking. Honestly, like I mean, I don't think a Denver team has taken an L like that in the playoffs. It was unbelievable.
I think the last time they scored 80 points or less was 2016. So it was like what I think is going to happen though, I think they're going to come back in Minnesota hard. I think they're going to come out swinging. So I see this series going to 7 still, but that's just my opinion.
It's time. It's time to start taking the Jokic overs. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a safe bet.
Every single one.
I think it's a safe bet. I mean, Jokic can single-handedly take over. I was really waiting for him to do that yesterday. I don't know what's happening with Jamal. We're missing layups. I mean, if there's a bright spot, like, KCP was playing pretty good defense and Porter was shooting well. But boy, what in the world happened? I'm going with Troy. We're gonna shrug these 2 L's off. It's going to 7. This is going to be a death match. And, I like how the Nuggets fare down the stretch. We just got to play more physical. It's just, it's brutal.
Yeah. If there's any team that can climb out of this hole, it's the Nuggets.
It's the Nuggets.
You can do it. So
agreed. We'll leave it there so I can try and cheer myself up a little bit. All right. To follow the show, go to kitcaster.com/Denver. To subscribe on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Also, if you have anything coming up that you'd like us to feature, we're happy to promote and feature your event at no charge. Because again, we're here to celebrate Denver culture. That's kitcaster.com/Denver. Our music today is by Troy Higgins. Our sponsor is Kitcaster. Now, if you are interested on going on podcasts as a podcast guest, that is exactly what Kitcaster does. Kitcaster books the world's top podcasts specifically for funded startup founders, entrepreneurs with exits, and C-suite executives. If your work is demanding that you tell the world that you exist, kitcaster.com is your home. All right, let's jump into events. Savannah, let's start with you. What do you got on tap for the week?
Coming down this week. Well, it is Mother's Day, right? So that's something that, not only is it like shout out to remember, but it's coming, and there's some cool events happening in Denver. This Sunday, there's brunches happening at Left Hand and Rhino with cool music. I also saw Blondie's playing at Mission Ballroom. So I feel like that needs to be called out as well, because not only is Mission a great venue, but Blondie, I feel like that's prime. That's prime. I mean, Ryan, tell me you haven't been to a Blondie concert.
I can't say that I have. Is Blondie like 70 years old now? Like, I'm glad she's out here.
I was going to say, is it a Blondie cover band or is it actually Blondie?
I mean,
it's
giving
like
Blondie.
It's Blondie. It's looking like
it's
the
giving
real deal.
Blondie. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not a drill. This is not a drill.
This is
It's
not
not
a
a drill.
drill.
It's not a drill.
No, and literally they're gonna be here tomorrow. So I don't know. Tom, I know you've seen some cool shows at Mission, but this could round out the portfolio of yours, you know?
Yes, looks like Blondie is on tour. So May 8th, 2024. That's yeah, tomorrow. Mission Bar. It's them. It's Blondie.
That's amazing.
One way or another.
Cool.
Nice. Blondie. Well, that might be a good thing to bring mom to. Mom might be into Blondie. Why wouldn't she?
Yeah,
Right.
seriously.
You may see a side of mom that, come to fruition. You never know. May bring her back.
Nice. Savannah, what are you doing for your mom?
I'm really fortunate because my parents live an hour from where I'm at, so I get to go harass them. Naturally, it's going to be nice weather, so probably play out in the farm. My mom always loves having me and my sister out there, so just, causing a little bit of havoc out there, riding the horses and just doing that kind of stuff. My dad will probably be tooling on something in the garage and that kind of thing. Sometimes if it's good weather, my parents will be like planting their garden and stuff this time of year. Mother's Day is usually like a good cutoff for planting in Denver. But I don't know.
A good
Ryan.
time to start.
Yeah, well, like a good
Okay.
time to like miss the freeze. But I don't know. Sometimes Colorado will be like, you know what? Snow. Here's
Yeah.
some late snow. So I don't know.
Here's some
It's kind of a toss up, but just go spend some time. And then Matt's folks, they live like 10 minutes away. So then we're going to go see them and have a lunch. So,
Well, and Savannah, let's talk about your background a little bit, because obviously this is a show about Denver. You're Denverite. You live near me on the north side, but you're also a Colorado native, but you come from the hills. Tell us about where you grew up and the farm.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I grew up in Berthoud, so northern Colorado. Not Berthoud Pass, like we're skiing, but Berthoud, like up by Fort Collins. So I grew up on a farm. My folks still live there. I'm really fortunate. Like, it hasn't moved. It's just been evolving. Berthoud's kind of blowing up actually, so it's been crazy. But that's where I graduated, and I grew up with an older sister who, I was just constantly trying to keep up with. She's just a badass and she flies helicopters, and I'm really close to my family. So we were kind of always up to something, whether it was in the barn or dirt biking or just, I don't know, Ryan. I've told you crazy stories. Told you
Yeah.
crazy stories about my youth, but yeah, a little bit of, I feel like I have a great rounded experience of Colorado because, I grew up like getting the $20, $25 ticket to go to Copper Mountain in elementary school, learning how to snowboard, grew up with my dad teaching us how to fish. I grew up on three-wheelers, which is a little chaotic to say. I totally get why they're like illegal and not in production. But if that gives any intuition and like some insight of my childhood, I was riding three-wheelers, so they're a little chaotic, but makes a dirt bike really, really approachable.
Growing up in Berthoud, what was your perception of Denver? Was that the big city?
Oh, yeah. Even my parents still think I live in like the Bronx of, like the
big city.
yeah, they're always like, whenever they come to Denver, it's like they're coming down to Denver. They're coming to the city. It's, I'm getting like text updates from my mom as they're making the trek down. And yeah, so I kind of grew up with that thinking like it's massive, it's huge. It's like, I know, I really just came into Denver the most for like the stock show, if I'm being honest, to come down. We showed in the stock show for many years in my childhood. So like bringing a horse trailer and down to Denver was always just kind of like stressful and crazy, but it was fun, good memories.
What brought you to Denver when you guys was there a particular events?
We'd always, again, be in stock show in January. That was a big chunk of
Yeah.
time in Denver. I'm trying to think. My dad always has gone to the Denver tuba concert. That's something my parents have done every year. It's a tradition. So at Christmas time, it's moved all around. It was in like Larimer Square. Now it's at Sculpture Park, but there's like 200 tubas that get together and play Christmas songs. So that's something. The horses, there's like there, I don't even know if they do them anymore as much. You may remember that too, Ryan, but there was a lot more like big draft horses with the carriages that you could like pay to get a ride through Denver up and down like
Yeah.
16th Street Mall. And that was always like so
Mm.
cool because I was like, you know, a little horse girl. So I'm like, this is my jam. This is like my slice of, you know, I love to go down and see the horses, but I don't know. That's kind of, and my parents love hockey. So coming down to play, see like Avs games and stuff was always a big thing, but we never come down here like just to hang. I do remember sometimes my parents would take us to 16th Street, which now looking at it was like questionably like one of the not best parts of town, but I don't know. In the 90s, it could have been the move. Could have been the move.
It wasn't quite as dicey on 16th Street in the 90s. There was still some good stuff down there.
It
Now-
wasn't, you're not fighting for your life as much, but no, I'm kidding. But especially with my parents, it was always like, you know, stay together. It's like we're in the city. Like, it's crazy.
Nice.
They really
Cool.
got to get 16th Street back together, you know? I feel like it's a city staple and they got to just get it going again. All the stuff's
Yeah.
still there.
I
all
feel
the
like we could
shops.
do like better with Denver has some good food and it's like Hard Rock Cafe sort of vibe. Like I feel like we could get like some good food because that is where a lot of people will go who are from out of town. I'm like, you should just venture like a few streets over. Get off 16th if you can.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 15th.
This is just like a lot of chain restaurants and like tourist trap type places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you buy like your Colorado swag.
Oh, okay. That makes
Exactly.
sense.
The other areas of town are where you actually want to go.
Well,
Yeah.
largely a lot of businesses have pulled out because of the local DA's inability or unwillingness to you know, enforce the law. There's a you know, if we're talking about the old West, there's a certain lawlessness that exists down there on 16th Street.
Mhm.
So,
There's
my
some
gosh.
craziness going on for sure.
I remember 16th Street in COVID and it was like kind of creepy. Like only the real crazies were out. It was almost giving like a episode of like Walking Dead or like, you know, you did not want to be out. Like it was just spooky because usually there's a lot of people and there was just a few. It was like stragglers. Scary.
yeah. Absolutely. Cool. Well, so for mom, in recap, what are you doing with your mom again? Are you going to see her there on Sunday?
Yeah, we usually do like a breakfast and hang
Yeah,
out at the
up on the
barn.
farm. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
I don't know yet. I'm trying to get some ideas. I'm thinking about doing maybe a lap, like a brisk lap around Sloan's Lake.
Mm,
So
Nice.
we'll see. I've been in it lately, like family functions, particularly the Hallmark variety. I'm looking for like experiences to do outside as opposed to like the sit down. I mean, I've been doing like the same ritual with my family for so long that it almost like I just want to break out of the box and do something new. So I don't know. Maybe a lap around Sloan's Lake, but I'm gonna figure it out today. Troy, what are you doing for mom?
So my mom and my grandma are driving up to come visit us up here in LA. Yeah, it'll be our first time hosting them at the new place, and we're not sure exactly what we're gonna do yet. We know we're gonna get some food somewhere. We have some tickets reserved for the Getty Museum that we might go check out, or we might just go picnic at the park. It's gonna be really busy everywhere, so we might
Mm.
stray away from like the formal dinner reservation type thing and do something like outdoors at a park or maybe a museum or something. But we're kind of just gonna play it by ear. But it'll just be nice to spend time together regardless. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I like your lap
Yeah.
around the lake idea. That's a good idea. Get some exercise, some fresh air, some nature.
Yeah. A definite beginning and ending.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's key.
Certain restraints. You know when you're done.
Yeah. Tom, how about you, buddy?
I'm not entirely too sure what our plans are yet. I'm down here in Fort Myers at my parents' house, so we'll definitely be together with the mom. And yeah, I don't know. They always have something going on down here in their community that they live in. So I think later on tonight we have there's three events for Tuesday. There's Build Your Own Taco and Nacho Bar down at the community town center. We got bocce at I think 8 or 8:30 p.m. tonight, and then Tipsy Tuesday down at the pool bar. So it's action packed down here in the Florida retirement communities.
Don't tempt Tom with Tipsy Tuesday.
When I
Tipsy
was
Tuesday.
when I was in Florida visiting my parents last week, it would be like 4 o'clock, and they'd be like, "All right, you guys want to like go to a happy hour or something?" And I'm like, it's just like the thing over there. It's like it's what you do. You just start. Everyone starts drinking at like 4 o'clock. It just
That's what they
chills.
do.
It's literally what they. That's what my parents do. Like this
I
is the life.
I know
Florida life.
exactly. It's something to get used to. I thought that I would go hard in my Denver lifestyle, but no, it's big down here. They're good. They're
Yeah.
probably getting ready to go right now. It's only 12:30 p.m.
No time like the present.
Exactly. So then I
Yeah.
have this Orca experience on the screen. If you want to talk about that, you had it listed on your events before we keep on moving.
Work experience?
Orcas.
Oh, Orca. Like Tom, yeah, the Orca experience. I've seen a lot of ads in Denver on this, so I looked it up and it looks kind of cool. It's at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, which is a pretty cool museum if you haven't been. But yeah, it just looks cool. There's like life-size orcas, and it talks about like, how, I don't know, they're kind of little intellects. Well, massive intellects,
Cool.
but it seems like a cool exhibit. So maybe I'll report back on that because I want to go see it. But I wanted to see, I don't know, have either of you gone to it?
Not yet. I haven't been to the museum in a minute, but the exhibition is called Orcas, Our Shared Future. Sounds pretty sick.
Sounds cool. And it doesn't have, that's what was the movie? Was it Blackfish about the orcas where they got them in the tanks? They're not in tanks. So this is just about the orcas, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that
No
is a
live
good call
orcas.
out there. Yeah, this is like just in their natural habitat.
Nice.
There's
Cool.
no live workers there. Just
No,
model. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
Not
just to
SeaWorld.
like appreciate, the magic of the sea, if you will.
Learn
Yeah.
about these orcas, what they got going on. Cool.
Nice. Cool. Tom, what you
Awesome.
got on tap, buddy?
Let me get my list going. I'm driving the mothership here. 1 second. So, first thing I got going on, Mother's Day event. I thought this one was pretty cool because I personally love real estate. I don't I don't own any houses or anything, but I love watching like cool real estate videos. I love seeing cool houses. I think that there's just so much that can be done with so many different spaces. So I picked this Mother's Day event. We have the Wash Park Home Tour and Mother's Day Market Street Fair. Okay, so there's a combo here. It's essentially what it is it's this cool older area of Wash Park, um, like Humboldt Street. What's some of the other addresses that they have on this? Humboldt, South Downing, South Lafayette, and South Franklin are going to compromise this whole event, or comprise this whole event on Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. What it is like a street fair. So you have all um, vendors, exhibitors, whoever's going to be down at the street fair. But also, as you're walking through the street fair, you can go inside and tour some of these old, like, Wash Park homes. Um, so you got the street fair going on, you're walking down, and there's 5 old homes in Wash Park that you can go in and just check out and just see the architecture and the cool designs of these houses. So there's going to be one house on Downing Street, one on Lafayette Street, two on Humboldt Street, and one on Franklin Street, all part of that early 1900s Wash Park kind of neighborhood is when they were all built, it's looking like. And yeah, it looks pretty friggin' cool. It's 30
Except for this
bucks,
one. This one
which
was built in 2015.
some you get some like a newer one too,
Yeah,
but they're all
that's cool.
still in that area. Which one's a
Kind of have
2015
that
one?
early 1900s style.
Yeah, they
And
still look like that type of style.
yeah, and they're all for sale, it looks like. So it's like you're actually touring a home you can buy.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. I wasn't sure if they were all for
Oh,
sale or not, but it's sponsored by a
interesting.
realty group, so I feel like they probably are all for sale.
That's some genius marketing there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
totally.
Brilliant.
Exactly. And they're basically having people pay to come participate too.
They got it figured out.
Who's
Come
running
get your
this?
mom, bring her through all these beautiful homes.
It
Mhm.
also, your admission helps to benefit Steele Elementary Parent Teachers Association, and a percentage of your ticket purchase will directly benefit families in need through the Love Project by providing fresh food, hygiene products, and cleaning supplies to our neighbors in Virginia Village. So yeah, shout out to Steele Elementary PTA.
It seems like the real estate market's cooling a little bit. Stuff sticking around on the market. I mean, the prices
Yes,
are unbelievable right now. Unbelievable where they're pricing homes. And I think they're having a hard time getting it.
they're needing new people. They're needing new ways to get people out and looking and buying. So maybe that's a
Yeah.
good sign for us who we might be thinking about buying soon. Anybody here, you know, or renting soon. Maybe some prices might be coming down for us. Okay. Let's hope
Yeah,
so.
it's interesting place because obviously like interest rates are like through the roof, but so a lot of these higher price homes, there's a home next to me, there's two of them going for 2.2 million and one going for 2.5. I know they were both purchased 3 years ago, tops at about 1 mil, 1.2.
That's
So,
insane.
they're looking to double the equity in 3 years and they're having a little
Mm,
hard time selling them. So I don't know. And I know that like there's a big so some legislation that's going through that's going to affect real estate brokers commissions as well. I think that and I should look this up, but generally speaking, there's a 6% standard commission that real estate makers, 3 on the buyer, 3 on the seller. And I think that's going away, or at least it's becoming variable, and that's being broken up a little bit. So I'm not sure if they're compensating the price, the real estate agents are trying to compensate the price to validate their commissions. But I no disrespect to real estate agents, but I think the people have been clamoring about this for some time. If you locate your home on Zillow and you go see it yourself and you show up to closing with a contract attorney, like what is the real estate agent really doing? You know? And no disrespect to them, but honestly, it's like we're talking about 6% on a $2.5 million home. That's a big chunk of change right there. I mean, a gigantic chunk of change. So
mhm.
interesting to see, the fact that they're doing kind of like this little garden party and like bringing a little street festivities to it and trying to sell multiple homes. Maybe they do owe or deserve 6%. That's quite that's quite an event to put together. But I don't know. It's interesting. I am really going to follow closely the way what home prices and the real estate market does in Denver this summer. I really had kind of slated in February, I'd start looking for a new place and just kind of determined that like it's a better time to save than it is to buy, largely because of interest rates and pricing. So, for buyers, perhaps after the summer, if there's a little bit more inventory, prices come down a little bit. Maybe we get a break from the Fed because of the election and interest rates come down a bit. Could be a better time to buy. But right now, as it looks
Mm.
to me, it looks like we're kind of flattening out in the real estate market.
I was gonna say,
Ryan,
go ahead, Savannah.
oh, sorry. I was just gonna mention, it's funny you say that because there was a property like catty corner to our place, and they had a saxophone player, like this full, like it was an open house, but it was an open house like I had never seen, like this live sax player, like serenading out on the front porch and like
Wow.
high top tables and people like walking around with champagne. And I was like, I was texting my neighbor, like, do you see this? Cause I like could hear this sax player and he's like, they are desperate to pull that. I was like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's exquisite. And it's like it's certainly not 2 point something million home. So I was just like, whoa, maybe they're trying to value their commission differently. Like, see, look at this. There's a saxophone.
Sax player, they're trying to not sell the house, it sounds like.
Hmm.
They're getting very innovative with it.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, I was like, what could the justification be for doubling the price of your home or your asking price in 3 years? But the commission, I mean, that could be an explanation. But that just makes no sense to me. That's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's like
It's wild.
staggering, really. Like,
I would imagine in Denver, so like as far as renting prices at least, I would imagine that it fluctuates heavily based on the cycle of seasons. Like winter, it's got to drop huge, right? And then summer, it probably jacks up just based on the weather. I mean, the demand of people moving. Is that how it works? Like Christmas time, the prices drop a lot.
There's
I
definitely some
don't think prices
seasons.
drop. Yeah, as much as there's just people don't list,
Yeah, there's
so
just
it's like
availability.
everybody
Mm.
waits till now, and now you start to see the inventory. There's probably 5 or 6 thousand homes on the market in Denver right now, which, you know, 10, 15 years ago, there might have been 30,000. So there's still very low inventory, which benefits sellers in the end. But,
Mhm.
they're having a hard time selling. I mean, you're spending $2.5 million on a house. Like it better have a pool. I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of money.
What is that payment? That's
Mhm.
like a $10,000 a month payment.
Yeah.
I can't
I
even
mean,
imagine.
Yeah,
t-
if you're buying something for that much and people are listing stuff for that, which is just like a old like 1900s brick house with like 3 rooms and old floors, they're still listing it for like 2 million in Denver. So this could be a
yeah,
top signal for us. Okay, let's hope so.
I think
agreed. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For 2.5 million, I mean, it seems like you could definitely, if you had a plot of property, I mean, you could build a 6-bedroom house with a pool for 1 million. Like what's the benefit? I mean, I get it. Like you pay for neighborhoods and stuff, but boy, man, it seems like kind of topping out. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know though. You have a good location though by Sloan's. I feel like that north side of Sloan's. It's like the Wash Park area. There's little
Well, we're on
pockets
the
of
east
Denver.
side. We're on the east side, and from this dude's like rooftop, like kind of
Mhm.
he's got that upper deck. You can like see the whole front
The
range, and you
mountains,
you can
yeah.
see the lakes right there.
Did he
So
like renovate it? Did he like flip it? Is that what they're trying to do? Or are they just sitting there thinking like this is appreciated that much?
yeah, it was a new home. It was a new home when they moved in,
Wow,
and 3 years later, like doubling. I
that's
don't
a little
know.
aggressive.
I don't
That's
know. Yeah,
crazy.
well,
Dare
we'll
I say
see.
greedy? I don't
We'll see
know.
if they we'll see if somebody buys it. I don't know.
I think this is a
Jeez.
sign that we all need to just join Tom and I's parents in Florida and go buy a 3 bedroom, three
Dude,
bathroom
Tipsy
house.
Tuesday. I'm in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
$300,000 for a
exactly.
2,000 square foot property. Let's go.
None of us none of us meet the age
Mm,
minimum for this community though. So
yeah,
we
they have a
might
lot of
be
those.
we might be screwed. Uh, yeah, I think it's 55 or 60 in this community. So we got a couple years left till we can move in. But think, yeah, you can move in with somebody who is of age if you're
Mm,
over age 18. No one under age 18 can be living in this community.
mm, the loophole.
Keep that in mind.
Ready.
Yeah, we I'll tell my mom that we're all moving in on Sunday for
We're all
Mother's Day.
coming over. That's right.
All right,
Donahue's
cool.
coming.
So the next thing that I got is Rocky Mountain Nightmares Horror Expo and Film Festival. Um, it's going to be this weekend, May 10th to May 12th. Um, Starts at 5 p.m. each day. It doesn't list exactly how late it goes, but it's horror stuff. I bet it definitely goes a little bit late. Horror Fans Unite, Denver's elite horror convention. Celebrity guest vendors, artists, and a costume contest. Miss Nightmare contest. And parties all weekend. It's going to be at the Grand Hyatt Hotel in downtown Denver. They got vendor table exhibits. There's going to be films. There's going to be all sorts of scary stuff. So if you're into that, check that out.
Nice.
Then we have the BYB 26 Mile High Brawl bare knuckle fighting is going to be here on Friday
Dang.
at the Stockyards Event Center. There's a wide range of ticket prices for this, depending on what kind of seats you want, but BYB is returning. Two of BYB's biggest stars are going to clash in the Trigon for the BYB Super Middleweight Championship. Bare knuckle fighting is crazy, so if anyone is looking for some violence,
Jeez, man.
That's where to go.
This is where you're gonna go.
You said the Trigon, do they fight in a triangle?
I guess so. I haven't heard of this
What does that even mean,
exact.
Tom?
It says Trigon. I haven't heard of this exact group here, BYB, but this is BYB number 26. Wow,
God dang.
and it's bare knuckle, and these guys are looking tough. Okay, so I'm sure it's gonna be good.
Great Mother's Day plan. Take your mom
Yes.
before Horror Expo, and
Yeah.
right after head over to the bare knuckle brawl.
Take the moms down. Get them going. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing like a little bloody
Peace
bare
and
knuckle
blood.
fight. Okay.
That would confirm like all of my mom's worries about Denver. She would be like, this is exactly what you're up to down here.
This is what happens in the big city.
People beat each other to a pulp in a triangle.
Yes.
God, it really is a triangle too. That's pretty wild. Man.
Yeah,
That's
you
kinda
can't
spooky.
get trapped in one of those corners. That would not be good.
That's bad. Yeah. I don't know.
Festive, Tom.
Okay, last thing is Red Rocks this week. Tomorrow, Shane Smith and the Saints. I don't really know who they are, but looks cool. They have support from 49 Winchester and Hayes Carl. Sweet. Hippie Sabotage on Wednesday. Oh, wait, sorry. Shane Smith and the Saints is tonight, Tuesday, May 7th. Tomorrow, Hippie Sabotage. We don't really like them that much. They're not good people. But that's on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, Turnpike Troubadours. I don't know who they are either, but it's Western week. These guys are all dressed as cowboys, so I feel
There we
like
go.
it's fitting. They have support from the Red Clay Strays, American Aquarium, Wyatt Flores, and Sierra Hull. They have a 2-day Red Rocks headliner, so I'm sure that they are pretty cool. And then Saturday, I have tickets, but I'm not going because I went to Florida. Black Coffee, very good. More minimal style house, techno-y type stuff, but chill. Black Coffee.
Cool.
Support from LPGOB, Themba, and DJ Holographic. And then Sunday, finally, we have Sleep Token, the Teeth of God tour. That is looking like some metal to me, if you saw the picture. But you know what? I'm not entirely sure. Support from Empire State Bastard. We're gonna have to listen to some of these people that we don't know, because last Red Rocks season there would always be some people that we aren't too familiar with on the schedule. I feel like we gotta test some of them out and give some initial impressions through Spotify.
That's a great idea, man. Yeah, we could do like a Red Rocks calendar 2024 Spotify playlist.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna have
That'd be cool.
a wide range of stuff. Half the playlist is just high school graduation names.
Yeah.
Because
Was that song Pomp and Circumstance?
yeah. Dun, 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 dun. because the week after next week, or starting on the 16th, were all graduations. Actually, oh my God, I can't believe that I always forget that they do this, but Thursday, May 16th, you could just go in there and binge graduations if you want. They got 4 high school graduations in one day on May 16th, and then 4 graduations on May 17th. They just load people in, graduate them, get them out, and then load in the next high school.
You could buy tickets to those, like as a person, just a normal person,
I don't know.
and attend.
Maybe. I think it's looking at it right now, it seems as though you might be able to just go. You buy parking tickets, looks like.
Okay, that's really good.
Is there anything worse than attending a graduation?
No, there's not.
It's one of the worst things you have to possibly do.
Got to be up there.
It's got to be up there.
I feel
if
like
you're
at
gonna-
Red Rocks, though, that's a pretty cool venue to graduate.
Yeah, at least all
True.
these Denver area high schools get to do their graduations at Red Rocks. It's not on like their turf football field in the
Berthoud?
hot sun.
Yeah, we had no cool. I was in the band, guys, playing that one song.
Oh, on loop.
Ugh, like beat me. No, wasn't it? Red Rocks could be better if you have to go see a graduation, I suppose.
Yeah, I saw my brother graduated from Highlands Ranch High School at Red Rocks, and it was it was in the morning, so you get the sun like just right on your face. I mean, it was good. I think you're right. It's Red Rocks, so it's like, oh, this is nice. You can look out over the prairie, But
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
like, oh, we're really going to read every student. How many students are in this graduating class? 2,500. We're going to read all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, kids, let's go ahead. Let's get a rhythm going here. Come on, line up. Let's go.
That is so many kids. I think there was like 200 in my graduating class. Holy moly. That's
Yes,
impressive.
same. But the schools around
No.
here are way bigger.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And I don't mean to be cynical. I'm very happy for the graduates. The
Shout out to the grads.
class of 2024. You should be very proud of accomplishments. Expectations for you.
Shouts out to the grads.
One, we got astronomy night hikes, which is tonight at Cheyenne Mountain State Park. This is putting on by the Colorado Parks and Wildlife. It looks really cool. Apparently, there's a celestial event. What is it? It's called, but that's happening tonight. So I'm assuming it might be like a new moon or no moon, so that you can see the stars. But it sounds like a really fun thing. The audience is for 8-year-olds and up, and obviously it's in the evening. So I think it begins at 9:30. Lime Kiln Trailhead parking lot for 30 minutes of viewing celestial sights through telescopes. Sounds like a lovely way to spend the evening. You can check out a map and details on that in the liner notes of this podcast. On Friday, we got Javon Jackson at Dazzle. He is a prodigal son of Denver and an absolutely incredible tenorman. He is a fantastic player, and he's coming back to Denver. We're really happy to have him. And then on Saturday, we have the mighty Shane Gillis at the Paramount Theater. And I don't know if you guys have seen Shane Gillis's Netflix special. It was insanely hilarious. His hosting on Saturday Night Live, insanely hilarious. And he happened to be in attendance, although he wasn't performing, at the roast of Tom Brady. Did anybody catch
Oh
that
my
this weekend?
gosh, that was hilarious.
I did watch that. Yes.
Dude,
I did not yet.
has there ever been a roast that went harder than that?
I couldn't believe just the amount of characters they got on the show. Like who was it? Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. Those are two I was not expecting to show up at a roast. It's just funny seeing them in that environment after years of just addressing the media and like not being able to say what they actually want to say. It was pretty funny.
Belichick was loving it.
Mm-hmm.
He was so happy. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. It was good. It was good.
Robert Kraft was hammered.
Mhm.
Poor Kim Kardashian got roasted harder than anybody else.
Mhm.
Man.
Man.
So anyway, if you like that, if you liked the style of comedy of Tom Brady's roast, you're going to love Shane Gillis, and he's playing in Denver on Saturday night. All right, well, I'm going to jump into the feature. So we're talking about country western and Denver. Now, Denver is full of a lot of people that have come here over the years, probably a million of them that show up in various assumptions about Denver. You know, when I went to college, I've talked about it. People were like, "Where's the teepees?" Like literally, I'm like, "Bro, what?" He's like, "I thought, you know, there's Indians here." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, they live in houses, man. What are you talking about?" But there's a mystique. There's a country western mystique about Denver, which is fantastic. And a lot of us, you know, don the western wear. You know, we don't have the authenticity necessarily of Savannah. Rather, we wear it as a fashion accessory, which is totally acceptable. So I've got a couple of recommendations for people that might not know about the sleepy ins and outs of Denver's country western heritage. So one, we talk about the National Western Stock Show all the time. That's in January. That's absolutely huge. That brings everybody here. A great place to start for people new to Denver and the country western scene. There is a local business that I want to feature. It's called Westcraft Carpets, and it is on Colorado Boulevard in Evans. I'm sure you drove past it a million times. It's across the street from Vitamin Cottage. And this is a three generations flooring store. And I want to give them a shout out because these are the Votts family, and these are some Western dusty ass dudes that I love dearly. But it's my brother Matt that we grew up with. I grew up with him, and we've been hunting for years and years. We've been friends since fourth grade. But he has an amazing flooring store, and they just got a great remodel. So I really encourage everybody to go check that out. And particularly if you're in South Denver, you're not going to find a higher quality flooring materials and installation. Shout out to Westcraft Carpets. Um, my other recommendation, of course, is Rockmount Ranchwear. And today is the only Tuesday I'm probably not wearing Rockmount, ironically enough. But we've talked about them in the past. Jack Weil, the founder of Rockmount Ranchwear, invented the pearl snap shirt. So take that, Austin. You know, you got cowboy boots, we got cowboy boots. You got pearl snap shirts, we invented pearl snap shirts, Austin. How you like that? So definitely check out Rockmount. They're downtown. They have a beautiful store. I mean, truly exceptional. You know, you want to go in there and drop $1,000 on boots, you can do that. But you can also spend $100 and get a nice pair of boots in there too. You can get a cowboy hat. You could get a rhinestone belt. You could get a T-shirt, and you most definitely can get the most badass pearl snap shirts on planet Earth at Rockmount Ranchwear. Okay, now this is a little bit outside the purview of Denver, but I want to talk about FM Light and Sons, because if you've taken a road trip in Colorado, I know you've seen these signs. They're yellow and black signs, and it might say 472 miles to FM Light and Sons. And this is an outfitter in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And I only mention it because they have a really cool story. They've been there, I think they're on the fifth or sixth generation as an outfitter. And they began in 1905. I don't know if anybody has followed those signs. I sure hope you have, because their store is an absolute Colorado legend. Would you agree with that, Savannah?
Oh yeah, I've been in there. It's very, I mean, honestly, the signs when you're going into Steamboat, like you have no choice. You're like, I
Yeah,
have
there's
to go see
so
what this
many
is
of those.
about. And they're like, if you just picture like a yellow billboard with like someone with a paintbrush with black, just hand freewheeling, there's no structure. It's also probably been there since 1905, the sign. Like there's, I don't know, it's interesting marketing, but great boot selection, great hat
Yeah.
selection. Like they have awesome turquoise, great jewelry. Like you can easily drop some money in there. Very cool store though. And it's like downtown right on Main Street in Steamboat.
Absolutely. And Savannah used to manage Murdoch's. Okay. That's how country Western Savannah is. She knows a good shop. And that really is FM Light. I mean, it's great because you have this kind of juxtaposition in country Western in Denver. You know, you got your I'm still with you. I'll pull this back over. You've got what am I trying to say? You've got the fur coats. You've got the Aspen country western. You know what I'm saying? That folks come in and they're gonna dress for the stay. And then you got kind of like the real work and ranch wear with all your Carhartt, your Levi's gear. And I feel like FM Light kind of takes that middle ground perfectly, where you can get like a real bougie looking cowboy. You can spend $500 a cowboy hat, FM Light, but you can also get like some Carhartt overalls, because ultimately, like, the people of Steamboat Springs need to work, and you can get that there.
Yeah,
So
it's a cool store for sure. They've
it's
got a lot of great
extraordinary.
brands.
Extraordinary place. Follow the yellow and black signs, and also check out their history on their website. It's definitely worth the 5-minute trip to go read the story of this family that's been there forever. What a wonderful place to set up shop, Steamboat Springs, Colorado. All right, and finally for me, for the feature, is the Grizzly Rose. I mean, you just can't mention country western without mentioning the Rose. What can I say about the place? This is where all touring country bands come when they come to Denver, so long as they're not filling out arenas. The place, the place is sticky and smells like old PBR, which is exactly how you want it to be when you decide to ride a mechanical bull. It's a wonderful place. They have an underage night for teenagers, which is legendary. They've got, I mean, everybody has come through there. Savannah, share with us a story or two about the Rose.
The Rose is great. I mean, honestly, you can see I remember seeing Taylor Swift at the Rose. Like, people do come through there. Obviously, she's not going to Grizzly Rose now, but definitely a great time. Speaking of stock show, like, if you pair the Rose up with stock show, like, it's a great time to go, because it's a place to be. They stack it. But yeah, memories of the Rose. I have a couple. I always remember the Rose for they have like a smoke room. I don't know if they still have it, but they had it the last time I was there. And it's like this enclosed room inside of there where you could smoke inside. And they had like this old 80s, like, glass jewelry case that you could buy, like, $5 pack of cigarettes. You could buy singles, chew, like, if that was your game. And it was just like this hot box in the middle of the Rose, and like kind of burned your eyes when you walk in there, but you didn't have to go outside then to smoke. But yeah, Rose, I got kicked out of for getting caught drinking in the bathroom a couple times,
with some
but
X's
I
on
think
your
enough
hands.
time. Yeah, with the X's. Well, so my thing was I would just sneak a flask in my boot. It was like, done. Put some whiskey in there. Like, I'm set. Get me a Coke. Like, I'm good for the night. And the opening band was still on. The main person I was there to see hadn't even come out yet. And I was in the bathroom with my friend, and we're like pulling my flask out of my boot. And while we were doing that, like, kind of giggling around, we didn't realize that, like, the security had cleared the whole bathroom out and, like, dug in the trash can and found these shooters, and they're like, these are yours. Because I was worried they were going to steal my flask. It was like this little Vegas flask that fit perfectly in my boot. And I was like, you got me. Those are mine, because I didn't want them to, like, search me on anything. But yeah, got hauled out before maybe we got to see the show. And they told me never to come back, but I question that. I question their memory. I think I could go.
Yeah, I think you're good now.
Yeah.
Geez, they were on it. Like, they
I
were
know. I thought I was being so sneaky. Well, and, like, our friend's mom drove us. Like, we were just there to, like, the Rose is a great place to go dance. Like, I always tell Kate and, like, people who come through Denver, I'm like, that's a good Denver experience to, like, go on a good show night, get someone, that's a good swing dancer, and you can have a good night there for sure. But I've
Just
also gone on nights where it's like retirement night, like it's 60 plus, and it's kind of adorable. I loved it. But they
Yeah.
have all these different, like, ladies night and all these different, like, themes that you can go with.
they got dance class. Dance classes all
Yeah.
week, it looks like. Wednesdays and
Yeah.
Thursdays. Intro to Cowboy Cha-Cha with Dan and Haley. Line dancing with Rosalie. Cowboy Cha-Cha patterns. Country swing dancing. Footwork and framing with Dan and Haley. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
this looks legit.
And they have a lasso, like you can practice roping in the back by the restrooms inside. You can get on a mechanical bull, like there's a lot of strokes for different folks if you want the whole Western experience there.
Dude, and line dancing is no joke. It's too much. I can't follow those steps.
Oh my gosh, I love Matt always is like, she knows all the moves. It's like it's very simple, like the repetitive, but it's fun to go and swing dancing. That's when I worked at Murdoch's. I was up in Cheyenne, and Cheyenne Frontier Days is also a huge rodeo. And there was some great dancing up there. It was like the time. If the rodeo's in town, it's a good time to go find a dance hall because there's gonna be some people in there you wanna find or be
Honestly,
found.
when I was a kid, I thought dancing would be much more important. Like people would really judge you if you're a dancer or not. And that wasn't necessarily true, except in the country Western world, where like you better have something.
Yeah,
You better have something.
yeah. Better have a pair of leather sole boots and be ready to be twirled around. Like that's where, I don't know, that's when I think of Giant Frontier Days and like the stock show. Like it's associated with like going to the Rose, going to places like that.
100%.
It's where they're all heading at night after the rodeo.
Wow.
Yeah, Tom, I can tell you're rating. Ryan's gonna get you a pearl snap. Troy, we can pair this up at the end of June. Like maybe we take a field trip to the Grizzly Rose.
Perfect. I'm all for it.
Okay.
Savannah, why
let's
don't you
go.
take us into your country Western features?
Yes. Oh my gosh. My country Western features. Well, my features are more for farmers market, which kind of is country Western. I don't know. I love a good farmers market, you guys. And it kicked off last weekend here in Denver. So, City Park is a banger. That one is probably the top farmers market I've gone to, but Denver has a lot of great ones. There's ones on Platte. There's Cherry Creek started up as well, which is at the mall there in Cherry Creek. But Saturdays are a good time to just be leaning into this good weather and like checking out the farmers market.
No doubt.
I don't know. And in the farmers market, I wanted to give a shout out to Chef Dave. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the samosa shop. I found him through City Park. He goes there and sets up and he makes samosas. It's like Indian American street food. And Chef Dave, he won Chopped a few years ago. So he's like very talented, makes amazing samosas. He'll have like a vegan one, and then he'll do crazy flavors. Like I've gone after like Thanksgiving and he did like a Thanksgiving dinner one with turkey and potatoes and cranberry. Or he now has a brick and mortar off 15th and Blake here, the samosa shop that you can go in. I think it's like Tuesdays through Sundays maybe. And like he was doing a lamb smash burger last weekend that just looked absolutely fire.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks
So
crazy. That
I
looks
got
so good.
these looks on the screen. It's looking really
yeah,
nice.
it's fire. So I don't know. While you're out there, I'm always like shopping for some local honey at the farmer's market, some produce, and then getting myself a samosa. I highly recommend it.
What's this Frank's cashmere chili sauce that he has? That looks
Yeah,
whatever
it's
that is.
fire. Yeah, the sauces that go with the samosas are like, half of it. It's good. Just great flavor. It's like Indian street food. Like, I don't know, the curries, the spices, just the flavor profile is really good. And they have this great like chai tea. It's also just like, I don't know, it's a moment. Walking around City Park, going booth to booth with your little tray of samosas. I highly can't speak highly enough of it, but there's a lot of great booths there in general, outside of food. I'm motivated by food, so that's where I'm going first and foremost. But
Me
then,
too.
I'll get my honey, I'll get some flowers or something, round it out.
Those are looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, Savannah.
Yeah. Let me think. I think
I
that's it for my feature.
I got two things to highlight here, and I believe we may have talked about both of them already. I know for sure we talked about one, and I think Ryan has highlighted the other. Um, but what's more Old Western than a good steakhouse? And what's more Old Western than a good Old Western steakhouse? Two of them, actually. The first one is one that I have highlighted a bunch of times. Lots of cool events. The Fort in Morrison.
Yeah.
We're back on the Fort. We've talked about the Fort maybe 10 times. Okay. But the Fort is one of the most classic old Western restaurants in the area. Let me just tell you real quick. I found a nice write-up about the Fort, but let's just say it's a full-size replica of an adobe fur trade fort with scenic views of downtown Denver. On top of that, an award-winning restaurant that has been featured by the New York Times, Sunset, Bon Appetit, as one of the nation's most recognized establishments. I mean, they have a great website too. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but the Fort is
Speaking
legit.
Tom's language.
The Fort is legit. You guys should check it out. There's always live entertainment, solid steaks, solid food, and just big old Western vibes at the Fort. And then
Love it.
the other one that I've highlighted, and Ryan, I'm pretty sure you've mentioned before, the Buckhorn Exchange.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Legend.
Denver's
So
oldest
good.
restaurant, rich in Colorado history, and serves up a unique menu of wild game and steak in a rustic, elegant atmosphere. Menu featuring steak, buffalo, elk, among others. This historic steakhouse is a must-see for everyone. I mean, I'm going to show everybody what it looks like inside.
I was just gonna ask Tom, have you been inside? Because it's like a museum. Like just going is an experience of itself. But then like the menu is, it's a good time.
There's about 1 million
Like
taxidermied
mounts. Yeah.
animals in here. Established in
Yeah.
1893, and this is where you go to get all of the meats, all the different rare game meats. Yeah,
Yeah. Let me tell you,
right outside
if you
downtown.
got if you got a little boy or a little girl, it could be a life changer. I remember I took my kids. I think Ozza was in 3rd grade. We went to the Buckhorn Exchange. He wore a Davy Crockett hat like for a year after that. It was the best. He'd go to school with the raccoon in the tail. It was amazing.
That probably looked great on him.
Oh yeah, he looked amazing with his blonde long hair coming out the
Yeah.
back of it, skate shoes.
Oh my
1000
gosh.
Osage Street, or is it Osage Street? Yeah, check that out. Very cool place. From the outside, it looks pretty beaten down. There's nothing around it either. It's like its own little standalone building. It's right outside this downtown area.
Yeah, there's the light rail station runs right in front of it. So you can get there real easy.
Okay, nice.
What's your favorite item on the menu?
Ryan, you probably have the most experience.
You know, I think I got probably like a bratwurst, like a rattlesnake bratwurst or something like that. They've got elk and stuff like that, but I'm more of a free range type elk than like a farmed elk.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't break the bank. They're proud of their prices, and as well they should be. But like if I'm there, it's like, hey, all right, kids, mac and cheese, and I'll get some rattlesnake or something. And
They have Rocky Mountain oysters. Have you ever fed
they
those
got
to your
Rocky
kids?
Mountain oysters.
Have you ever given those? I feel like that's the ququintessential Colorado parent is to like, here's some chicken nuggets. And then
Their
halfway
first
through the
appetizer.
basket, you're like, what are these? Maybe that
Their
was just my
first
family.
appetizer on the list is the Rocky Mountain oysters. Fried alligator tail. Got some rattlesnake, boneless rattlesnake, marinated in red chili. Let's look
I've
through the
never
dinner.
tried rattlesnake.
Neither have I, Troy.
It's not particularly remarkable in any way. You know, I mean, if you got buffalo and honestly, like beef, the sweetness of beef. I mean, elk first, then a beefsteak, then buffalo, and then I mean, what else are we eating here? That lamb smash burger looked insanely good, honestly.
We may need to take a field trip over there. Go get
That looked good. I'm trying to go to the samosa stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elk and Cornish
wait.
game hen. Elk and quail. They're loaded
All
up.
right, friends, I've got a hard out in 2 minutes. Do we want to do a quick round of highlights from last week?
Yes, and then we'll be good to go.
All right, Troy, what you got? What was your highlight last week?
Highlight last week was heading back to the old stomping ground, San Diego. Went and visited a friend for his birthday. He was going to a concert Saturday that I was unable to attend, so we had plans Friday night just to get some food, hang out. It was cool. It's only been a little over or almost 3 months since I moved away, but feels longer than that for some reason. So it was cool to be back in the neighborhood, eat at some old spots I used to go to all the time. But yeah, it was just great being back down
Nice,
there.
man.
Yeah. What about you, Savannah?
The Derby was last week, which is like my Super Bowl. It's like my NASCAR. It's where I'm at. So it was great. I loved seeing there was a horse, West Saratoga. The owner actually grew up here in Littleton. He paid $11,000 for this horse. So it put the range of the horses from 11K up to 2.3 million, which I just think is cool as hell because they
Yeah.
all, they all level out when they're at the gate. So it was a cool race. Went to a party, watched it, drank a lot of mint juleps, had some like bourbon chicken. It felt right. I don't know. It felt great. I didn't win any money, but that's not what I'm there for. One day I will get to Churchill Down. So it looks like it's an amazing experience in person. So that was kind of my, my shout out. And then, the winner Mystic Dan, we have 2 more races. So we'll see how they show up to those. So it'll be good. It's exciting.
Nice.
Tom?
For me, highlight was Zodiac House. This is another one of those Denver late night, is this allowed, is this not allowed type places. You can go there for afters. They stay open like all night long, and it's just really cool atmosphere, Burning Man-esque vibes in there. It was cool. Nice place. Recommend it. Ryan?
Cool. For Cinco de Mayo, me and Ozzo washed down the old F-150 and went down to Federal at about 10 p.m. and drug South Federal. It was awesome. We put on some like great Mexican party music. I felt left out. I need a Mexican flag for next year. I'm going to be fully tricked out that way. But there were low riders. There was like the Super Slam mini trucks. There was every kind of pickup truck you could imagine that was just shining. There was a lady that was twerking on top of a truck, going probably about 25 miles an hour. It was not.
Wow.
So it was great. I got yelled at by a cop for being in the wrong place. It was awesome.
Nice.
I love Denver. It
Very
was amazing.
federal. Yeah.
Very,
Nice.
very federal. It was awesome. Positive energy down there all the way around. It was
Oh,
great.
and
Oh,
great
yeah.
food. We should
Yeah.
do a whole food segment on just federal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A federal episode, a Sheridan episode.
Yes.
No doubt.
Therefore,
There we go.
All right, cool. Thanks everybody for listening. Troy, Tom, thank you so much. Savannah, thanks for joining us today. This was super
Yes.
fun. You can check us out, kitcaster.com/Denver. Shout out to Kitcaster for sponsoring the show. And please follow, rate, and review the show on Spotify, on Apple, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. We're all over the place. And big shout out to Troy for making all these wonderful shorts for us. Really appreciate it, man. That's a wrap.
woo!
Next time.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.